Hello everyone, welcome you all in my YouTube channel Unique Aviation. In today's video, we are going to continue our submodule 12 of maintenance practice, that is transmission. So in this video, we will going to see what is transmission, what are the methods of transmission, like what are the gears, how to transmit the power with the help of gears, then your belts and pulleys, then chain and sprockets, then jack screws, levers, push-pull rod. All these things we are going to discuss in this video in very detail. We will see what are the inspection and what are the maintenance involved in all these methods of power transmission. So let's start. So the very first question of us is, what is transmission? So transmission is the transferring power from one place to another place, from one system to another system, from one shaft to another shaft. This is the transferring of power. Okay, and for these we will use many of the methods like gears, belt and pulleys and etc. So first of all, we will going to see what are the gears and how to transfer the power with the help of gears. Okay, so the very first question is, what is gear? So gear is nothing. Gear is a circular device which has teeth on their surfaces, on their outer surfaces they have teeth, and when they are connected with another gear, they will mess with each other and they will transmit the power from one gear to another. So the gear which has power is called driver, and the gear which is rotated with the help of this driver is called driven gear. Okay, one more thing we should know and keep in mind, that the bigger gear means the gear can be bigger or smaller. So the bigger gear will always called the gear and the smaller gear will always called the pinion. Okay, so it is also a classification that we should have to keep in mind. Now there are two important terms related to gear, is speed ratio and the gear ratio. So gear ratio is nothing, very simple. If it is bigger gear and it is a smaller gear, it will always have a large number of teeth, means just suppose it has 100 teeth and it has 50 teeth. So the ratio of the number of teeth of both gears is called gear ratio. If it is 100, it is 50, they will get a ratio of 2:1. This is called gear ratio, and according to their gear ratio, the speed of both the gears will be determined. How? Just suppose if it has, the larger gear has 100 teeth and the smaller gear has 50 teeth only, the one rotation of 100 teeth will make two rotation of the smaller gear which has 50 teeth only. So if the gear ratio is higher, it will the gear ratio is higher, like if it is 2:1, that means the bigger gear will have an half of the rotation as compared to smaller, or you can also say the smaller gear will have 2 times the RPM of the bigger gear. Okay, this can means by the help of gear ratio and the speed ratio. So now we are looking forward, and the question comes in mind is, what are the type of gear methods, right? What are the type of gear trains we are using? So it is of two types, simple gear train and complex gear train. If your mind is asking why I am teaching all these things which are not in your EASA book, it is because they are very important as a point of view of your DGC exam. That is why I am teaching you all these things. So the simple gear train is really simple. They always have one gear at one shaft only. Okay, if they have two gears, they will have two shafts. But complex gear system means they will have a one gear with two shafts attached on it. Okay, so if at least two of the shafts are involved in one intermediate gear, that is called complex or compound gear system. But if it is simple, means for two gears we will have two shafts, that is called your simple gear train, or you can say very easy gear train. Okay, now comes the type of gear. Okay, so we are not going in detail about it, but we will discuss some of the gear type which are very important. Like first one is gear rack. What is gear rack? What is the purpose of gear rack? So the purpose of gear rack is to transfer or to transmit or to change the rotatory motion into reciprocating motion. Okay, the next one is, what is helical gear? So it is always important, and you should have to keep in mind that helical gear, the purpose of helical gear is to transfer the motion from one shaft to another. And why? It is because their angle of rotation, their axis of rotation is at some angle. Okay, next one more thing that you should keep in mind is, what is herringbone gear? Okay, so it is nothing, it is consist of two helical gear together. Okay, and one more gear which is important is worm and worm gear. What is the purpose of worm and worm gear? So the worm and worm gear are used when heavy reduction in speed or the RPM is required, like if you are talking about the 1000 RPM is converted into 200 or 300, it is a great reduction. In that case we will use worm and worm gears. This is all about gears. Now the next transmission method is belt and pulleys. You will always see, if you have ever visited atta chakkis in your locality, it is belt and pulleys which are not usually used in nowadays in modern aircraft, but in some time piston engines they will used as a for transferring power for alternator or vacuum pumps. Okay, in piston engines only. Nowadays they are not used because of some problems like the belt tension. They need time to time adjustment of the belt tension, the pulley alignment on which they are rotating. The device on which the belts are rotating is called pulley. So pulley alignment is very important and it need very frequent inspections. That is why they are not used in modern aircraft. The next method is chain and sprocket, which are very important and very common in your general life. You will always see in your cycles or in your motorcycles they have an chain and sprocket to transfer the power on your back wheel. Okay, so this is also not used in nowadays and in general aircraft. It is because of some problems like they need time to time lubrication. Cleaning of chain and sprocket is very necessary if you are talking about aircraft, and they will create an excessive wear. But the main problem is elongation. Elongation means बढ़ जाना, increasing of these chains. You can also see in your cycles and your motorcycles they need regular adjustment of the tension of their chains and sprockets. That is why they are not used in aircraft. Okay, next one is jack screw. Jack screw is very important and they are used on mostly all modern aircrafts. Okay, so what the purpose of this? It is used to transmit the power from aircraft cockpit to some control surface, or the automatic adjustment of the control surfaces like horizontal stabilizer trimming or the flap lowering or raising. Okay, for these purposes they are used. They are nothing very important and very simple device. The part which is rotating have ball nut and they are connected with a ground jack screw. Okay, and these ground jack screws are rotated, and according to that the flaps or the part which are going to be moved is always operated up or down. So this is very simple and they are used in mostly all aircrafts in nowadays, also in modern aircrafts also. Some problems are there like backlash and lubrication, so it is not a great problem, it can easily handle. Okay, next one is levers. You can easily see in your cockpit that the fire control lever or your throttle, or by which the thrust of the engine is controlled, or you can see the engine control systems like fuel lever and etc. So these are found in aircraft but not used for a great purpose like long distance and all these things. They are used for smaller fluid transfer. Okay, and the next one, which is the last topic of this chapter, is push pull rods. Okay, so it is developed because of the elongation problem of the belts and pulleys and chain on sprockets. These push pull rods are nothing. They are steel rods, the solid rod of steel that are used to transmit the command of the pilot from the control stick to the control surfaces like elevator, aileron, rudders and all. Okay, whenever the pilot will put their force on the rudder pedal or control stick, they are connected to the control stick or the rudder pedal with the control surface. As he moves, the pilot moves the control stick, this power is transmitted to the control surface, and according to that the control surface will go up or down. Okay, but they are not also used in all modern aircraft. In modern aircraft or bigger aircraft, this is because they are solid rods and they have a great weight. Okay, so if you're talking about a big aircraft, they are impractical, not possible to use because of a great weight. And in modern aircraft we don't need the great weight because we need more and more space to accomplish or to stabilize some of aircraft passenger, not extra weight. So because of this they are also not used, and some of the inspection needed are they should always be straight, their alignment should be correct, and they always have smooth movement. So this is all about your today's video. In next video we will see how push pull rods are removed and control cables are used, and what are the problems with that. So in next video we are going to see all these things. This is all about today's video. If you like the video, please like the video, share, subscribe and share to everyone so that everyone can get benefits. Thank you.